Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Hannah here. Thank you for clicking on the video. Today, by the title, you can see we are talking about how I found out I was pregnant. It's crazy. It took me 3 tests to realize you're pregnant. Girl, you're pregnant. I am excited to start sharing with you guys, so I honestly just want to get right into the video. So let's go. So I have my phone with me because I have a lot of notes that I was taking down during the time of like finding out and everything, and the calendar just to see how everything went down, to also give you a little bit of backstory. So when I was getting my period, they always happened at the last week of every month. And so in February, before finding out, it was the 24th was that Wednesday, and I didn't get my period, but I also thought maybe I miscounted, maybe it was the week after, it was that Wednesday, and I like the next Wednesday after that, which would have been the 3rd, but I was just like really unsure about like when my period was supposed to happen. I just knew it always falls on a Wednesday at the end of the month, the beginning of the month, always. And so it was the Wednesday of the 24th, and I was just kind of like, oh, I don't really know if I'm pregnant or not pregnant, whatever, but I kind of felt off because my boobs were like sore and hurting, and like I feel like they were growing. Like, in my opinion, I definitely would say like my boobs were already growing at that point of even being like 4 weeks. And then that weekend happens, whatever, and it was talked about with the baby's father, my boyfriend at the time, that like I could be pregnant. I think we should get a test. Like, if by Wednesday, if I don't get my period, I definitely think we should get a test. And so it ended up being that Monday that we went out to eat, and we both had a drink, and we were just like talking at dinner, like his family met us there, and we were just like, whatever. So then after the restaurant, I just told him, hey, we should just go get the test. Like, I could have him now for then in the next couple of days if I don't get my period, or we should just go home and test, because at this point I think I'm pregnant. I just have that gut feeling that like I am pregnant. So we ended up going to the grocery store, and we picked up our clear blue tests right here. They're 99.9 accurate. So I was like, we could definitely tell at this point if my period was early or late, because it is complicated, but now looking at it, like I was late. Like at this point I was already late. And so it was that Monday on the 1st, so March 1st, we get the test, and we go home, and we're like just like nervous, whatever, and I had to pee. So I was like, perfect, like this is the time that we're going to be taking the test. It's happening right now. And so I ended up peeing in a cup because I was thinking like if it's a false positive or negative, I could retest with the same pee, just dip another one of these tests in, and that's it. I didn't want to have to wait hours again to like be able to test. I pee in a Solo cup and I leave it on the counter, and then my boyfriend at the time was like just like outside the door, whatever, like just kind of nervous. And then so I dunked it in there and put the top back on, and like I flipped it upside down, I think, or like I don't know, it could have been right side up. I don't remember now. Had it right side up, and we ended up leaving the room, and I said, I shut the door, and I was like, okay, we're not gonna go back in there until it's done. And he was so nervous, so he had to go upstairs to use the bathroom, and that's so funny. He had to go upstairs to use the bathroom while we waited. And so like I'm left downstairs thinking, what if I'm pregnant? What if I'm not pregnant? Just a million thoughts are going through your head of like, whoa, like this is crazy. Like, what are the odds? For about like a couple of minutes, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I just want to open the door and look at it real quick. because it's going to be negative. Like, as much as like I think it's positive, it's going to be negative. Like, I've taken tests before and it says not pregnant, one line, whatever. So so I open the door, and remind you, he's still upstairs, like using the bathroom. And so I open the door and this is just sitting on the counter, and then like I picked it up and it just said pregnant. And like, I don't know if you guys have ever felt like, just like you see like two and doubles and like it's just like a shock and like a flash. Like, that's what it was. Like, I like seen it and it said pregnant, and I'm like, oh my God. So then my heart starts beating really fast, and I call my boyfriend at the time, and I'm like, hey, like, can you just come down here? And so he finishes up and comes down here within like the next minute. And I had this behind my bag, and I was like, and I like just like looked at him, and he goes, you looked at it? And I was like, well, what do you want it to be? And he goes, like, you're pregnant. And I was like, I'm pregnant. And so he takes the test just to see. At the time it said pregnant. Now it doesn't say anything because all of them turned off. I thought if they were pregnant they stayed on, but I guess not. With this one test that we already took, we were like, okay, like, no way. Like, we're pregnant. Oh my God. And so like the next like 5 to 10 minutes, we're just like speechless, in shock. We don't really know what to do, what to say. We're just like, okay, we're just gonna like sit on the couch and like think about it. At this time, my pee's still in the bathroom, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just dip another one in there just to see what it says. Like, if that one might have been false or not, who knows. And so I dip another one in there and we wait, and that one's positive. So at this point we're like, okay, we're definitely probably pregnant. Definitely probably pregnant. So then we sit in shock for a little bit, and like we didn't really have like any emotions of like, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Like, what are we gonna do? Anything. We just kind of just were like there. Like, minutes were passing by us, but we were just like sitting there. And then after, like, we start talking about like, okay, like, we want this baby, we're gonna make it work. Like, it's just such a crazy crazy moment of like finding out. We were just like, okay, and like I still had that third test that was in like the pack of 3. So I was like, in the morning, because your pee is supposed to be more I don't know, more ready, there's more hormones in your pee in the morning. I have no idea. I probably sound so stupid. But like in the morning it's better to test. So I was like, okay, in the morning I'm going to pee in another cup and I'm going to test this one, or I'm going to pee on the stick, who knows. And we're going to test again, and just to make sure, like just to make sure. So then the next day I pee on it, and of course it says pregnant. So at this time I'm thinking, okay, I need to get on prenatals. I need to find an OBGYN. I need to find everything. Like, I'm like, okay, we have to like do the right thing here. And so after that, like that whole day, like I spent like trying to find a new doctor, like that was specifically for this. And that was really hard because you need a doctor that's affiliated with the hospital you want to give birth at. But I just found out that I'm pregnant. Like, I literally just found out I'm pregnant, and I now need to find out 9 months from now where I want to give birth. Like, I don't know, just to see the doctor for now and just to like help me out. Like, it was crazy to me. Like, how am I supposed to do that? Like, that, I think, like, it's just stupid. So then I'm like now searching up different hospitals that I want to give birth at. And at that point, I pick a hospital. And then now through that, I have to pick the doctor that's affiliated with that hospital. So then I'm searching up a whole bunch of doctors. and so many doctors are just booked. And I'm like, how do I need a doctor. Like, there's no possible way that I can't find a doctor. Like, I need a doctor. So I'm searching up everything. Like, and I was sitting in this room before because it was a different room. It was like a Zen room, like a yoga room. And so I'm just like sitting pressed up against the wall, just trying to like figure out what I'm going to do. And I called up places, seeing if they have like my insurance is covered there, if everything about it was right. In so many places, well, oh, we don't take anybody for the next couple of months. Okay, so now I just sit here pregnant with like no help, no support. Like, that's crazy. And so then I finally found like a couple of places that they said that they would get back to me, and they ended up getting back to me. And so that was really good, of like finding a place that I wanted to be at. And then at this specific place, I have 5 doctors that I regularly see because they don't know who's going to be there on the day that you give birth to deliver your child. And so I have to like see all of those 5 doctors. The doctor that I like wanted to see, like, so at present time, I've only seen her like 1 time, 2 times maybe. I think my next couple of appointments are with her. But honestly, they've been with all of the other people. And so I like specifically made, like I specifically went to this place for this specific doctor. And now I don't even get to see her. So it's kind of, I don't know. That night we ended up going to the store to get prenatals, just to get like the process started of like, I know that is what you're supposed to do. And there was like even an option with like the fish oil that is good for like your 2nd and 3rd trimester that necessarily in your 1st trimester you don't need, but like there was 2 different kinds of like the same prenatals just with this extra pill inside of it. And so I'm thinking like, which one do I need? Why do they, if they recommend the one, then why don't you get the one? And so I had to talk to like the CVS person that was over the counter, and they're like, oh, well, this is good, like, it doesn't really matter, you can kind of take whatever. Okay, well, like, don't tell me it doesn't really matter, because it does matter, especially if there's options. And so we ended up getting the one with, like, the fish oil that I've, like, been taking from the beginning. And, yeah. It's definitely crazy to, like, look back on, like, that moment and those moments of, like, of the shock and like the feelings that were going. It's definitely so life-changing. It's crazy. But I wouldn't change it. I definitely think everything happens for a reason, and I might not know the reason now of why some things are happening the way that they are, but I'm here, I'm hopeful, and I'm just doing the best that I can, always have, always will be. And I'm just happy to share it with everybody because it is such a crazy experience to find out you're pregnant that I'm sure like other people can relate of like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. Ah, that's crazy. I am going to be posting some upcoming videos that are going to be super exciting to watch, so stay tuned for those. We're going to be finding out the gender of the baby, even though some of you may or may not know. We found out it isn't going to be a sit-down video. It is going to be the actual moment of us finding out, and so you're going to be able to see the emotion behind the video, not just me talking about something that happened forever ago in March. And like we are now in August, about to be in September. Like, it's been a really long time. Comment your guys' questions, concerns, anything. If you guys yourself have gone through finding out that you're pregnant, how did you feel about it? I would definitely like to know like others' first impressions of like looking at the test, or even like the suspense of like waiting for those 3 minutes to like look and see like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Or if some people thought they were pregnant and it was negative, and how you felt about that, because that is a whole experience in itself. Would definitely like to hear you guys out if you care to share. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, per usual. Comment, subscribe, bell notifications, all that jazz. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.